It occurred to me today while doing my ACCY quiz that a lot of people might be doing this by hand and calculator. For me, 15 questions feels like a lot, and it was much easier to do in Excel. So hopefully this video will convince you that it's actually a lot easier and quicker to do it in Excel. To start off, if we look at question 1, a lot of the questions have the same structure. They're giving you the same numbers or same types of numbers and just changing what they're asking for. This makes Excel a very powerful tool for answering those kind of questions. So to start off with, we're just going to enter the variables that they give us. So for example, number of preferred shares, the par, the percentage, okay, now you notice we've entered in all the numbers, but there is one thing that we need to pay attention to that's not a number, and that's whether or not the preferred shares are cumulative or not. So in order to determine that, we're actually going to use a Boolean variable, true or false. So cumulative, and if you just type true in all caps, it becomes this value true, and then it'll know whether it's true or false. You'll notice it's styled differently than just regular text. This will become important later on. Now that we have all our variables in, we're going to start doing calculations one by one. So to start off with, we're going to find out how much the dividend is for the preferred shares in just a single year. So this is going to be equal to the par times the rate. Now that's for a single share. We want to know the total shares so that we can end up finding how much these common stockholders get. So we're going to do the total. Now this is going to be equal to the amount per share times the total number of shares. Then we want to know, these are just per year. So in this particular year, it was in arrears for 1 year actually, and it is a cumulative stock. So we must take that into account. So in order to do this, we're going to find the total. And this is going to be equal to the number, the total dividends per year times the number of years. So in this case, we want to make sure that if it's not cumulative, it's just 1. If it is cumulative, we want to make sure we add in the arrears to it. So in order to do this, well, you're going to use an if statement. Now, if you haven't used an if statement before, the first one is a logical test. So whether something true or false. In this case, it's very easy to see. We want to know whether it's cumulative or not. So we're just going to reference this cell. If it's cumulative, it'll be true, and if it's not cumulative, it'll be false. So moving on to the next one, if it is true, what is the value? In this case, we want to multiply the total dividends by the number of years, and if it is in arrears, if it is cumulative, we want to do 1 plus arrears, because we want to count this year plus the number of years in arrears. So it'll be 1 plus D12. Then if it's false, as in it's not cumulative, it'll just be this year, so we can just say 1. Now we'll know, in this case, because it was in arrears for 1 year, it was, well, we should pay for 2 years, and that's reflected here. Next, we're going to want to find the preferred dividends per share. So rather than just the total, how much is it per share? So this is going to be equal to the total divided by the number of preferred shares. So the answer here is $4 in terms of preferred dividends per share, but what we want to find is the dividend per share for common stockholders. So in order to find this, we just find how much the total is, the total dividends for common stocks, which is going to be equal to the total dividends minus the total for the preferred dividends. So that's going to leave us at 480,000. Now to find per share, very simply, we are going to do the total divided by the number of common stocks. Now, that did take a while to get our number of 4.8. But now that we've done this initial groundwork, it's going to be very easy to calculate the next one. To give you a little demonstration, I will show you calculating question number 2. So in this case, we've got 30,000 shares, same as before, $100 par, 1% preferred stock, 400,000 shares of common stock, and $3 par. Then we've got a dividend of 700,000, and it's been in arrears for 1 year, but it's not cumulative, so we change this to false. And then you have your answer, how much is dividend per share for common stockholders? 1.675. And if you wanted to round to the nearest decimal place, you can have Excel do that for you.